IVM.
We would like to thank Storytel for sponsoring this show. Storytel is an audiobook platform that lets you hear hundreds of thousands of stories on your mobile, PC, wherever you prefer. This week I'm going to recommend a modern classic. It's a story that many have seen but few have heard or read. Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. The story is loosely based on the War of the Roses succession fights in 15th century England. When you hear Roy Dotrice narrate the story, it really brings it alive. Go to storytel.com/IVM and you'll be able to get your first month for 99 rupees. That's 200 rupees off the regular $2.99 a month price. That's storytel.com/IVM. Go get it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Positively Unlimited podcast. And today I'm at letter G in this particular series of A to Z. If you've been listening in, then you know that this particular series of A to Z, which started at episode 151, is all about finding your life purpose, finding it and living it. Yes, I'm talking about 26 different mindsets, perspectives, life skills that you need to find and live your life purpose. Well, in today's episode, I'm talking about guarantees. And to put it very simply, at the risk of stating a cliche, life does not give us any guarantees. It only gives us chances. And the ability to take chances is one of the most crucial life skills that you need to inculcate if you are to figure out your life purpose and live it fully. If you observe yourself, and even if you look around yourself, everyone is only seeking guarantees right now. It's like it's the latest trend or the latest fad. I mean, this need and this urge to seek guarantees could give the whole gluten-free, dairy-free thing a run for its money. Everything that we want to do, everything that we are choosing to do, everything that we need to do, our first question is, will it happen? Are you sure it will happen? Will I succeed? Are you sure? Can you give me a guarantee? We're waiting for somebody or the universe or life itself to give us some kind of guarantee before we take a step forward. Unfortunately, when it comes to finding your purpose, you cannot be this person. You have to be someone who has a certain appetite for risk and who knows how to improvise and adapt. Episode 107. Yes, go back to that one because I spoke about improvising and I spoke about it in the context of the lockdown. But nonetheless, you need to learn to improvise instead of seeking guarantees. You need to learn to fall down and pick yourself up again because there are no guarantees. You may think that a particular interest of yours is the path to finding your life purpose. And after living that interest or investing in it for a few months, maybe even a year or so, you realize that it's not really taking you anywhere. And you were mistaken. Well, you're going to have to just look back and look at all the things that you received by walking down that path and holding on to the faith that you will use it. It will all come to use at some point. But right now, you have to put a stop and choose another interest or choose another path that is calling out to you, that may take you down towards your life purpose. Yes, you will be guided down many different paths before you finally discover what it is that your life is actually about. And I'm going to remind you, go back and listen to the episodes in this series starting from episode 151 because your life purpose may not necessarily be about a career or something that will make you money. Our incessant need to be guaranteed a win, a success before we take even one step forward. Have you ever figured out where did you learn this? Well, it's because a lot of us don't know how to cope with our fears and especially our fear of failure. It's like we don't want to fail at anything. Not at our jobs, not in love, not in our relationships with our parents, not even in friendships. Absolutely nothing. Failure is not an option at all for most of us. And this bad habit, yes, it's a bad habit. This has led us to develop this incessant need for a guarantee. It's like a desperate need for a guarantee. And if we can't get a guarantee, we start slamming the panic alarm. We feel anxious. We feel uncertain. We feel, rattled, ungrounded. Pull out the adjectives. And you will realize that your need for a guarantee, your inability to accept failure, is nothing but a bad habit that you are nurturing. I did an episode called Sit With Yourself. It's episode 89. Go listen to it. And you will understand the importance of embracing the uncomfortable, the uneasy feelings that we go through, the negative feelings that we go through. If you are to find your life purpose, you have to be willing to embrace a lot of not so nice times and some not so nice feelings and thoughts as well. You have to be willing to work through all of those negative thoughts and emotions without rejecting them. You're going to have to be willing to keep walking, to keep discovering, to keep exploring, despite all the uneasiness that you experience. And this is not to scare you or to tell you that the journey to find your life purpose has to be a struggle or it's going to be difficult. No. For some of us, it's pretty simple. For some of us, it's almost like lightning strikes. One moment, something happens and something clicks and you know it. For some others, it's about experiencing a lot of things before you finally understand, before it's finally revealed to you. And then for some others, it's about joining dots and just making sense of all the pieces that are lying in front of you. So I'm going to tell you this. Between this episode and the episodes called Improvise and Sit With Yourself, use this week to learn to let go of your need for guarantees. You need to become a braver, bolder, more adventurous version of yourself if you are to realize your life purpose. So on that note, I'm going to catch you again in the next episode. But I hope that you are implementing, putting into practice all the perspectives and mindsets that I have been sharing. There is a good possibility that at the end of 26 episodes, which is about 13 weeks, you would have figured out your life purpose, or at least you would have started putting a sketch of some sort down. However, before I head out, let me remind you that all the previous episodes that I keep talking about are available on the IVM website and IVM app. And you can connect with us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is IVM Podcasts. You can also chat with me on Instagram. My handle is Positivity Angel. And as always, let me share that I absolutely love receiving your DMs, especially the ones that tell me how one particular episode or a bunch of episodes have made a difference to your life.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Storytel and The Whole Truth Foods. Thank you for supporting us. We have a new show out this week, Candid Kanan with Siddharth Kanan. Sid K is a well-known RJ. He has an incredible show with some of the most amazing Bollywood celebrities. As part of the first week's episode, we're releasing 5 episodes at one time, so you can get your fill of Sid. You can hear him talk to Varun Dhawan, Anil Kapoor, Anurag Kashyap, Bhumi Pednekar, and a whole lot more. This week on the Edges and Sledges podcast with Varun DJ and Ashwin, hear them talk about the historic victory that India achieved at Gaba. Maruk Inayat had an amazing talk with Gul Panag. They spoke about the farmer protests and why Bollywood celebs are acting the way that they are. And finally, Shunya 1 is back this week. Shiladitya and me talked to Anirudh Singla from Pepper Content. We have a great lineup of guests coming up in the coming weeks, including Deepak Abid, the co-founder of India Gold. Definitely check that out. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
पेश खिदमत है आपकी शान में हमारे अंजुमन से. Hi, I am Sadaf.
And I'm Arshit. खाने का इतिहास, economics, policy, psychology, सब है मेन्यू पे.
Only on the Nankali podcast every Wednesday. सिर्फ IVM podcast ऐप या वेबसाइट पर या फिर जहां से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो.